Hi friends, welcome to Taming Python series. In this video, we're going to talk about reading and writing files in Python. It's pretty simple. So let's see how it can be done. So before reading or writing, you have to open the file, right? So to open a file, you have to use the open function, which you can use like this. I will let with open, and in the open you have to give the file name, and you have to give the mode of the file opening. This I will explain in a while, in which mode you are opening the file, and you have to do the encoding. By default it's UTF-8, so no need to mention anyways. And you should load the variable as f. So by using the syntax with as file variable, what happens is after the if block, Python by default disposes the variable. I mean closes the file connections or something like that. So that's why for file operations we do it inside the with block. So this is how you can open the file before reading or writing. Okay, and then I said the mode of file opening as a second argument, right? So what are the modes? But default mode, if you don't mention the mode, it will be R, which is reading mode. Write means write mode. That means if you open a file in W write mode, the when you write something, the previous stuff will be erased, and what you write now only will be there in the file. And if you use the A mode, which is append mode, the previous content will be present, and what you write will be added at the end of the file. And R plus means you can do both reading and writing. The old data will be preserved, whatever you write will be added at the end. It's like append, but you can do reading also. And W plus means you can do both reading and writing, but the last file status will be erased, and new content, only the content you write will be added into the file. That means it's like W, but you can read also. So this is W plus R plus A W R. These are the modes in which you can open a file in Python. Okay, how can you write text to a file? You just open the file, and then you write f dot write, and you give the string to enter into the text file. So it's pretty simple. So let's try to take a demo now. I will take a empty folder. I'm going to open it with Visual Studio Code. I'll create a new file, and I'm going to name it index.py. So now I want to create a file, and I want to write to it. Okay, and let me try to create the file in this folder path only. So this is the folder path. I'll take this folder path, copy it. So the file path which I want to open is fpath equal to, I'm using the raw strings because I have backslash characters in my string. If I don't use the R, I should write double backslash. I don't want to write that. That's why I'm using the raw string interpretation. Okay, so this was a folder, and the file I want to create is test.txt. okay, this is the file I want to create. Okay, this is the file name I want to create. Now the first thing was to open the file, right? So I'll just write with open into the file name. The file name is fpath, and I want to first write something into the file. So I'll use the W mode, which is the write mode. Okay, as f. So the file which I'm going to manipulate is this object called f. So I've got the file object, so I will write some stuff into it. So I'll just write f dot write, and here I'll write the first line. If I write something like f dot write second line, it won't be printed as a second line. I have to give a backslash n. That means I'm writing a new line character. So this way I will get this in the first line, and I will get this in the second line. If I don't write this backslash n, it will be appended to this. So I will get the first line, the second line. I won't get new line. So I'm writing new line character here. And let me try to do it again. I'll just write something else. So that's it. I'm writing some 3 lines into a file. First I've taken a file path which I desire, and I'm opening it. I'm opening it write mode, in write mode. That means any other contents which are already present in the file will be deleted, and only this content will be written into the file. Anyways, we don't have the file, so it will be created. So let me try to save this. I'll run this, and here my file execution is completed. And you can even see this here, test.txt. I got the stuff which I want to write. Okay, we are in write mode. That means it will write even it will erase the previous stuff and it will write the same thing. So let me try to test that once. I'll run this again. My program is executed. Let me see the content. It did not print 2 times. It printed once only, because the stuff which was present earlier is erased. So if I want to append text into this file, I have to write append mode. So I will use the A mode, and now let me try to run this. Let's see here. It has appended the text to the last line, you can see. So this way you can use append mode to add new content to the file. Okay, so this was about writing into the file. Okay, now let's try to read stuff from the file. So how can we do that? It's pretty simple. You can use f.read. That means it will read all the content of the file as a string. The mode R should be given to read a file. Otherwise, you have to give W plus or A plus. We have discussed it already. The file modes. For reading, you can use R or R plus or W plus. It depends upon your requirement. If you want to just read the file, I recommend always use R, so that you don't accidentally write to the file. There are some 2 options to read stuff from the file. F.read gives you the whole file's text as a single string object, but if you want to read only the lines, instead of splitting the lines in the string yourself, you just can run f.read lines. What this does is, it will give you an array of strings, and each string will contain what is there in each line of the file. So you can use this function also. If you want to process your file line by line, I recommend using this function. Or else there is one more way. You can iterate through file, each line of the file. You can write a for loop for line in file. You can process that line. Okay, so let me try to demonstrate these 3 functions. These are pretty simple. So now I'll delete this f.write things. So now the first thing I did was, with open file path, now I'm not going to be in append mode, I'm going to be in read mode, right? So I'll read the file content, and then let me get the string of the file string equal to f.read. Okay, now print the file contents f string. So basically it's just a variable, and it is a string which contains the text of the file. So I'm just printing it. So let's see what happens. I'll just save it. I'll run this. You can see the whole text in the file is printed. This was the file, and the whole text of the file is printed in the command line, because I've got the whole file content in this variable called fstr. Okay, so this was how to read the whole file content as a single string. But if you want to get each line, I can do f string dot split of new line character, but I can do this way also, f dot read lines. What this does is, it will give each line as member of an array. So it's like file strings, file lines. I'll just give a variable name called file lines, and I'll just print file lines. I'll just show you how it looks like. So I am reading all the lines as an array, and I'm loading it into a variable called file lines, and I'm going to print it and show you how it looks like. So I'm running this file. You can see I've got an array, and you can see, and in each member of the array you can see the file content. This is how you can read the file contents in each line by using read lines function. Yeah, this was about read lines. So now if you want to iterate through each line using a for loop, you don't need to do read lines and load into variable also. You just can do, this is one more option, for f line in f. So what you're doing is iterating through each line inside the file. So I'll just write print f line. So what I'm doing is, I'm opening the file in read mode, and I'm iterating by writing for f line in f. That means I'll get each string of the file text into the variable f line each time I iterate through this for loop. So let me try to print this and see how it looks like. Yeah, you can see what's happening is that I'm getting each line of the file into this f line and printing this one after the other. That's why I'm able to print this each line of the file one below the other. So this is how you can use for loop to iterate through each line of the file without writing read lines. So this is also one way. You can even use read lines. You can use read and split by new line character, or else you can use this for loop notation. It is up to you. These are the 3 options you can how you can read the content of a text file or any other file per se. So that's it, guys. So let me summarize what functions I have told you in this session. The first one is the open function. To read or write the text files or any other files, you have to use the open function to open those files. And we talked about the modes in which you can open the file, because for particular operation you have to use a particular mode of opening the file. So these are the modes. And then we talked about writing the file. You can use W or W press mode, and you have to use the function f.write. So we discussed about f.write. And then to read the whole file content, you can use f.read, or to iterate through each line of the file content, you can use a for loop, like for each line in f. And to load all the lines into an array, you can use f.read lines. So that was a summary of today's topic, and I've written a blog post on this topic. You can find the link of this blog post in the description of this video, so be sure to check it out. You can copy these codes and practice for yourself, so that you can remember these well. Hope you like this video. Thank you, guys.